Welcome to the Suburban Crone. Today we're diving into the magical correspondences for April. This month is bursting with renewal, growth, and transformation as we fully embrace spring's energy. Whether you're looking to align your craft with the season or explore new magical practices, I've got you covered. So let's explore the magic of April. A little bit of a warning, this is long. So, what's a magical correspondence? A simple way to define it is the symbolic connection between objects, elements, colors, herbs, planets, and more based on their energy and how they influence spell work, rituals, and intentions. Think of them as a magical recipe. Just like certain ingredients work best for specific dishes, correspondences help enhance and focus your magic for the best ritual. Let's dive into the seasonal ingredients or correspondences for April. First, let's talk about the seasonal energy and themes. April is a month of rebirth, fertility, and abundance. Nature is fully awakening. Animals are being more active. The days are getting warmer. This is a powerful time for manifestation, growth spells, love magic, and fresh starts. April is also linked to themes of fertility and passion, making it a great time for spells focused on relationships, creativity, and personal transformation. I'm working on creativity, rituals, and spells during April. Let me know in the comments if you're working on any special spells or rituals for this month. During April, we have astrological influences as a part of our correspondences. April is ruled by two zodiac signs, Aries and Taurus. Aries season runs through March 21st to April 19th and is ruled by Mars. Aries represents passion, courage, and boldness. It's a perfect time for spells related to motivation, confidence, and breaking through obstacles. Does this season resonate with anything you're working on? I'm thinking about doing motivation spells during Aries season since coming out of winter, I feel like I need a nice boost of motivation. As we transition into Taurus on April 20th through May 20th, this sign is ruled by Venus, and the energy shifts to stability, love, and abundance, making it an excellent time for money magic, self-care rituals, and grounding work. Do you have a favorite self-care ritual or money spell? If so, I would love to know. So please share in the comments. During this month, I will refresh my money bowl during Taurus season. I like to use a money bowl spell that was created by the Witch of Wonderlust. I've included a link in the description. It's a great video and I suggest you check it out if you're interested in creating a money bowl or refreshing your money bowl. Taurus is my zodiac sign, so I'm excited to do some special self-care rituals and grounding work during Taurus season. In April, we also work with elemental and planetary correspondences. The elements of fire, which are associated with Aries, and the element of earth, which is associated with Taurus. We also work with the planets Mars and Venus. Mars is associated with action, drive, and protection, while Venus is associated with love, beauty, and pleasure. During April, your magical work and spells and rituals may be associated with new beginnings, passion, self-confidence, prosperity, and love. I have two very simple rituals for working with the energy of Mars and Venus, and I'm going to share them. First up is Mars. This is a good spell for fast money, career success, and bold financial moves. You only need a few items: a red or gold candle, a cinnamon stick or clove, paper and a pen, and a cauldron or some sort of fire-safe dish. The process is fairly simple and can be fit into a busy schedule. First, you want to light the candle and place the cinnamon stick, or if you're using a clove, place it nearby. Write on the piece of paper your prosperity goal. Hold the paper and say, by fire's might and warrior's will, abundance flows, my goals fulfill. Burn the paper carefully in the cauldron or a fire-safe dish and visualize your prosperity goal. Let the candle burn for a few minutes as you continue to visualize your success. Finally, when you're ready, snuff out the candle. Also, feel free to add a "so mote it be" to the end of the incantation. I normally do prosperity rituals on Tuesdays or Thursdays when the moon is waxing or full. Tuesday's a good day for this one, as Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Next, here's a quick prosperity spell using the energy of Venus, best for steady wealth, attracting luxury, and long-term financial security. The ingredients you need are a green candle, a coin, and some basil or rose petals, which are Venus's herbs. Hold the coin between your palm and whisper, "Venus, bless this gift of gold, bring prosperity steady and wealth to hold, no harm to any soul." Whenever I'm doing any sort of abundance spell or prosperity spell, I try to add the "no harm to any soul," because you may want wealth, but you don't want it to become because of an accident or someone that you love passing on and giving you an inheritance. So I really always like to put the "no harm to any soul" when I can. So next, you want to take the coin and place it under the candle and sprinkle the basil or rose petals around the candle. Light the candle and visualize yourself surrounded by wealth. Visualize as long as you feel comfortable and then snuff out the candle. Take the coin and put it in your wallet or in a special place as a charm. Maybe use it in future. Venus is associated with Friday, so if you feel compelled to complete this ritual on Friday, go for it. The most powerful part of magic and ritual is feeling it and using your own intuition. Moving on to section 4, let's talk about herbs and botanicals associated with April. Some of the herbs that are associated with April's energy include dandelion, which represents resilience, psychic abilities, and divination. Use violet for protection, love, and tranquility. Rosemary is great for cleansing, memory, and protection. Thyme for courage, purification, attracting luck. And then finally, mint for healing, clarity, and prosperity. I'm interested to know how you use herbs and botanicals in your practice. Here's a simple recipe for a rosemary infused cleansing spray. You will need 2 cups of water, 3 to 4 sprigs of fresh rosemary or 2 tablespoons dried, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, or you can use lemon juice. This provides some extra cleansing power. 5 to 10 drops of rosemary essential oil. This is optional. And 1 teaspoon of sea salt for purification. Simply bring the water to a boil and add the rosemary. Let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes to infuse. Remove the pan from the heat and let it cool completely. Strain the liquid into a spray bottle and then discard the rosemary. Add vinegar or lemon juice and the essential oil if using, and then the sea salt. Shake it well. Now that you have your rosemary infused cleansing spray ready to go, some ways to use it. Spray it around your home or on your altar or your sacred space for cleansing. Wipe down surfaces to remove negative energy. Use it before rituals, or if you're having a very heavy energy day, spritz some of your rosemary spray, wipe it down, or just spritz it into the air. I know the energy in my home has seemed really heavy after the winter months, so I'm going to make some rosemary spray, and hopefully that will rescue the energy in the house and make everything a little bit more fresh energetically. So next, let's talk about crystals. Some great crystals to use for April that are very powerful are diamond, which diamond symbolizes clarity, strength, and it's great for manifestation. It's also the April birthstone. Carnelian, it's lovely for passion, motivation, and vitality. Perfect for working with Aries energy and any fire elements. Emerald is the perfect ingredient for love, abundance, and fertility, and is aligned with Taurus. And finally, clear quartz. I like to use clear quartz in my office at my 9 to 5 to keep negativity at bay. Clear quartz is fantastic for amplifying energy and cleansing negativity. There's also several deities or spiritual figures that you can work with in April. If you're a person who likes to work with deities, I have 4 that are just wonderful to honor during the month of April. First is Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the Greek goddess of love, beauty, and attraction. Her counterpart in Roman mythology is Venus. If you're creating an altar for Aphrodite, it could include traditional offerings of red or pink roses for beauty, apples, which symbolize love and desire, honey and sweet treats, which represent the sweetness of love and beauty. Some personal care offerings of rose, jasmine, or vanilla oils, a small mirror, seashells or pearls, or seashells and pearls, which represent her birth from the sea. You can include some imagery of doves or swans, which are symbols of love and grace. Symbolic or magical offerings could include the use of pink, red, or white candles in your rituals or spells. They invoke her energy. Also, coins placed in water symbolize prosperity and attraction. In honor of Aphrodite, give yourself some self-love by taking a ritual bath with rose petals. Also, you can give devotion to Aphrodite by spreading love with acts of kindness, writing love notes, or just helping others. When I think of Aphrodite, I think of feminine, soft energy filled with beauty. What are your thoughts about Aphrodite? Switching from the softness and beauty, another deity you can work with is Mars or Aries for strength, courage, and victory. Mars is a Roman god, and his Greek counterpart is Aries. An altar honoring Mars feels very intense, but the need for strength or courage can be intense. For Mars, traditional offerings can include red wine or mead, known as the classic offering for warriors of battle, beef jerky, or any other jerky, which represents strength of battle and sacrifice. I use jerky instead of raw meat, just don't feel like using raw meat on an altar. That's just me. You can also offer bread and grains, which represent soldiers' rations during ancient times. Some symbolic offerings include weapons or miniature replicas of swords, spears, or daggers to honor the warrior nature. Armor pieces or military symbols like a small shield or anything related to warriors. You can use Spartan or Roman imagery such as shields, spears, or ancient war symbols. Red and black candles represent fire, war, and power. Physical and elemental offerings could be bones or antlers, which symbolize battle trophies and strength. Arrowheads can be symbols of combat. Warrior figurines will honor Mars is spirit. Additional ways that you can show devotion are through physical training, including martial arts, weightlifting, boxing, acts of discipline, practicing willpower and perseverance. For me, this is having the willpower to get up at 5 a.m., nourish and strengthen my body, plus stay aligned with my spiritual path. Like I said, Mars is intense, but it's not just about strength. Mars is also associated with strategy, order, and protection. Let me know in the comments if you would like to learn specific rituals or offerings for Mars that call upon strategy or protection. Shifting back to a more feminine energy, let's talk about Flora. Flora is the Roman goddess of spring and flowers. An altar honoring Flora is feminine and delicious. Fresh flowers, especially wildflowers, roses, violets, or any spring blooms can be used. You can make bouquets, wreaths, scattered petals. Honey is a good item because it represents fertility, sweetness, and life. Fruit offerings of cherries, peaches, strawberries, and other lush, juicy fruits. Symbolic offerings are oils or incense made of rose, jasmine, lavender, or honeysuckle. Seeds or grains. Seeds and grains represent growth and renewal. Herbs and greenery, specifically mint, basil, thyme, or any fresh, vibrant plant, would be a good offering or addition to an altar dedicated to Flora. Colorful candles and pink, yellow, or green are a lovely representation of spring. For physical and elemental offerings, you can include flower crowns or wreaths handcrafted as a tribute, spring water or dew collected in the morning as a pure offering, butterfly or bee imagery are symbols of pollination and floral abundance. To do a devotion to Flora, it could be as simple as planting flowers or a garden, attending spring festivals, creating floral arrangements, or placing bouquets in your home. Taking a nice walk in nature and admiring the flowers is very simple, but a heartfelt act of reverence. The final deity that I'm going to mention is Crone, a Celtic symbolizing wild nature, fertility, and rebirth. If you're looking to honor Cernunnos, the Celtic god of wild animals and abundance, there's some altar offering ideas. So traditional offerings would include antlers or horns, which symbolize his wild stag-like nature. Bread and grains, representing abundance in the cycles of nature. Ale, mead, or red wine, which is a traditional offering for Celtic deities. Honey and nuts, they're a connection it's his connection to the forest and wildlife. Fruits and berries, especially apples and blackberries or anything that's wild foraged. Symbolic offerings would include wood, bark, or acorns, which represent the trees. Animal figurines, honoring his role as the protector of animals. Coins, which represent Cernunnos' link to wealth, trade, and prosperity. For candles, I recommend green, brown, or gold candles, all earthy tones to align with his energy. When considering physical and elemental offerings, you may want to choose feathers, dirt, moss, leaves collected from the woods, imagery of stags, snakes, or my favorite, wolves, which are all creatures often linked to him. Some recommended acts of devotion include spending time in nature, taking a walk in the woods, or leaving an offering outdoors. Wildlife conservation and respect, supporting animals and natural species. Could you volunteer or make a donation to an animal rescue? I feel very drawn to a wolf sanctuary that's in my area. Finally, practicing grounding and earth-based rituals will connect to his primal energy. There you have it. 4 deities to work with in April. Do you feel connected to any of those? I feel most connected to Aphrodite and Flora. The last thing I want to talk about are some easy and powerful spells to try this month. First is a spring renewal spell. Very simple. Write your goals on bay leaves and burn them for manifestation. Next, for a nice love and self-care bath ritual, add some rose petals, rosemary, and Himalayan salt for self-love and purification. I mean, who really doesn't need a little bit of self-love? Another easy one is an abundance jar. Simply fill a jar with some mint, basil, cinnamon, and a coin, and this will help you attract prosperity. Rainwater charging is another good one. You can collect rainwater in a glass jar and then charge it under April's full moon to use for cleansing and intuition work. Last one is just taking a grounding walk. Walk barefooted in nature to connect with Taurus's grounding energy. Of course, use caution and don't hurt yourself, but it always feels good to do a little barefoot walking and getting grounded to earth. Okay, that's it. Your magical guide for April. If you stayed to the end, put a flower emoji in the comments and tell me what spells or rituals you're planning this month. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay magical. Be kind.